On this episode, I'm going to show you the finished product of my cork bed slide rails and a little bit of information. Hello HORace fans, this is Kevin Vito Man 50. Welcome to another video. If you're new to this channel and you want to learn how to make your HO slot cars faster, handle better, and do HO slot car scenery, you've come to the right channel. Go ahead and make sure you click that subscribe button and hit that bell so you don't miss a thing. Okay, a few people's asked why I use the colors I've used on my track. Avery labels at Walmart were cheap. I don't know if any of you guys have been figuring out I'm a cheap person. I'd rather buy cheap stuff than buy the higher end stuff, and most times the cheap stuff does about the same thing. Sometimes it's a little more messy or whatever, but that's why, because the pink, yellow, orange, and green is why I went to this. This was the first set I bought here. These were the like for notebook paper for the loops. This is what I bought first, and then I went ahead and bought these. These are Sharpies. All this stuff I'm pretty sure I'm sure I got these at Walmart. I know the Avery labels I did, and I got these at Walmart I think too. Okay, so all I do is this. I take and put it in the center of the groove of the lane and just go around the track. The newer they are, the better they work. If they get dried up, they're kind of... But see, all I'm doing is I'm going into the guide lane of the track. Just be careful how much you put on, because sometimes I have a tendency of putting a lot on. But with a lot of blind guys, I have the track here myself. It seems to be better. I've done most of all the other lanes already, but I'm going to go ahead and do these lanes just to show you. This lane here, the pink outer lane, this is the last lane. See, it's that simple. All you do is you put that in the groove, and then I always get a paper towel and kind of just clean it off a little bit, because sometimes you get little fuzzies on it, and then just go back over it. It's pretty simple. What I do too is, if sometimes it only go on one part of the side of the lane, I'll go ahead and spin the pen around a little bit to make sure it gets on all parts of the lane. Pretty simple, easy, straight to the point. And there we go. Okay, another thing, if I'm a messy person sometimes, even with cheap stuff you're messy, or even with good stuff, what you got to do sometimes is I'll just take a knife, you know, an X-Acto style knife, just trim the edge off a little bit, and that'll fix any problems you have. You know, this stuff's oil based, so it'll tend to be harder to clean up than anything else, and it does come off the track pretty simple, you know, with just a razor knife. See, it's pretty simple. Same with this, just boom boom boom, just so it kind of clean the track up a little bit so it don't look so messy. A high recommendation is always try to vacuum your lanes. I try to do it once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks is what I do, to try to make sure the lanes, I mean, we pick up dust no matter even if I vacuum or not. A lot of times what I found is a fingernail file will get right down in a lane and you can pick up a lot of junk. I mean, just look at that, that's just a little bit, and I vacuumed this not too long ago. So you'll get crud and junk in the lanes no matter what. Maybe my basement's pretty dirty, but I don't know how dirty your guys' is, but that's just how it is, okay? Okay, this is the other pit board here. How I cut it, see, I cut it around here, and then I went ahead and put all the slide rails around here. I took some foam core board. I ain't good at cutting. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to cut it better to make sure it's in here. I think it'd be a pain in the butt to do some more of the MDF for this part right here, and then I'm gonna have the inlet coming in for traffic. I'm gonna have a couple vehicles right here. I think I'm gonna put some fencing or something up here. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. but I did this foam core board. I got some ideas to show you guys about how to work with foam core board too. Cutting I'm not real great at, but there's other things I can show you that really makes it work out real well. Okie doke. Okay, this is foam core board. You can get it in white. They have it in different colors. I get this at Dollar Tree, so it's actually decently cheap. It's only $1 for this, for the ready board. It's got foam between 2 layers of like cardboardy paper, like drawing paper. What I do is I'll cut the foam core out to whatever shape I need. That's what this one here is for. For this one here, I cut this one out here. Go around this part of the track. And what I do is, what I've looked online on YouTube, guys are using the foam core and they're painting over it, but they're using like a polyurethane to cover it first. As you see, it kind of shines it up a little bit, and then you can paint over top of it. So it's polyurethane, fast drying. Don't use the water soluble, use the chemical soluble, because the water soluble will end up peeling up a lot of the paper and everything. So what I did is I did this, and then I had to put down balsa wood underneath of it to go around this turn. So what I did is I'm going to put it down in here, and then I'm going to paint it the same as I did my regular board, the regular MDF board. I'm going to paint this one and this one here. I didn't get them cut real great. I'm not real good at cutting. What I did is I found some parchment paper that's pretty decently kind of not clear, but you can kind of see through it. So if you take some of the parchment paper, I bought that at Aldi's, and put it down here, you can kind of see through it to find out where you're going to cut it. What I did is I taped it to here. I started using the regular tape that you use on like masking cars and windows on houses, but this stuff does not stick because this stuff is like a wax paper, so it really don't stick to it too well. If you see it, don't stick to it really hardly at all. What you have to do is I had to use masking tape, like you know, duct tape, stuff like that. It's real sticky, and that stuck to it, so it sticks a little better. It's still not the greatest. What I did is I just lined it up with the edge here and the edge down here, and then I just trimmed it out, and then I put that on top of the foam core board, taped it onto the foam core board, and then just did the cut is what I did. I did my 2 cuts is what I had to do. And that's where I got this. And again, I didn't really do a great job of the cut. As you can see, it fits in there, but there's places like here and over here that it's not really the greatest. But from one of the guys told me, probably use acrylic latex sealer, you know, caulking compound. This is paintable. I got the black just in case if it matches after I paint this. And go ahead and use this. I'm going to caulk it, and probably going to caulk it right down through here. I had to bevel the edge a little bit. I don't know if you can see where it's beveled around here, and that's what I did. I put that polyurethane on the edges too, and to seal it off too, so when I paint it, don't tear up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to probably seal it right around here and put this on here, and that's going to be, if you see, it's level here. And it's going to be level here, the same thing. I didn't get it, if you notice, I didn't cut it real good here. So I'm going to go ahead and use the DAP sealer, and this is the paintable. I got this at Ace Hardware. I think it was like $2 or $3 for this. And I'm going to go ahead and caulk it around the edges here and probably seal it right onto the track. Then what I'll do is I painted this to see what it looked like, and I taped it off around here and around here. Probably your best bet is to take the track off. Mine still floats, so I can actually take mine completely out and remove it and pop it back in. So that's what I'm going to do for that. I'm going to go ahead and paint it. I bought a cutter from Hobby Lobby that actually cuts on if you spin it over, they show on the thing about this cutter is you can actually flip it over and cut on like a 45-degree angle. I still think this was kind of a pain in the butt to cut with, because what it did is it kept tearing the edges of the paper. So you can put it on a 90. It was on the 90, like this here is on the 90, and you can flip it over and it's on a 45-degree angle. You can cut the angle of what the actual this is, because when you do the road bed stuff, the cork road bed, it is on an angle. As you see, it's on a pretty much a 45-degree angle. And I'm not good at cutting it, so I did the best I could to make this work, and I figure I'll just seal it up with caulking compound to make it all work. So that's just a couple things there. Again, make sure you put the polyurethane on top of it on both back and front. And what it does too, I don't know if you've noticed, but it kind of bevels it a little bit. It kind of, you know, whatever it does, it kind of folds in a little bit, but when it's glued down, I shouldn't have a problem with that. And then this is coming into the pit area here. I'm going to have this going into the pit. I was going to use MDF board, but I think it's going to be too hard to cut this little angle here. So I'm going to use foam core to fill it all in here and here. Okay, I was thinking about putting the pit area over here because the pit garage is over here, because I don't know if I want them over there. I was thinking about putting them here or putting them over here like this. If you guys got an opinion, give me your opinion on the back straightaway going into the, I'm going to call this the fourth turn, because this would be 4 or 3 and 4. So this would be the third turn on the back side of by the third turn, or in the main pit area. Give me guys your kind of opinion, because I'd like to know, because I don't know really where I want to put it yet. But give me an opinion on that, okay? Where you want the pit garage, where you think I should put the pit garages. And I had someone tell me they wanted to see some of the aprons and everything, and all the slide rails completely done. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that. I put this apron here so guys can put their cars here and everything. That's why I did this. And remember, I covered a hole over here. And this is what the slide rails look like when they're done, when I got them all finished. And I did put down the 4 colors that I put down. Okay, so what I did on that was I took a marker, and I got these at the I think I got these at Walmart, and all I did was I marked the lane itself. I just took it down the inner pin part of the lane and marked it. I went around and I spun the things up just to make sure that they were marked. Okay, so this is what it looks like with it all marked up and everything. If you see, both sides look pretty good. Some of the places didn't turn out so good, but you could take something and grind that, sand that off. And I put the apron stuff right here all the way around. And what I did on some of them where the clips weren't actually together, I went ahead and bought a roller. I got this at Summit Racing. It's a wood one. And I went around the track, and all the joints where everything jointed, I went ahead and ran them down. That seemed to flatten everything out real good. One of the guys I heard somewhere, they were talking about the clickety-clack of the track. You won't get rid of it totally, but this does help get rid of it. And this is how all the aprons, the slide rails went around all the way completely around the track, how it looks. And this is the one I showed on the last video how it was done. So it turned out real nice. Everything looks good. I went ahead and took something like this and cleaned all the lanes up. Even with a decently newer track, they still get dirty, and vacuumed everything. Something like this is good to clean the rails out every once in a while to make sure they're clean. But that's something I've been doing, so hope that helps everybody. Okay, the slide rails turned out real well. Again, things that you don't know are difficult, things that you do learn. Some of the stuff I've learned as just going, a few tips from everyone else. A couple other videos I've watched shows how to do a few things like the polyurethane covering for the foam core board. So hope all this information has been really helpful for you, and anything else you guys need to know, just let me know, and keep your pin in the slot.